Hi there. Welcome to the African Business Woman podcast. My name is Loveline Bassi. I am your host. Today, I want to talk about running your own business as an African businesswoman. And some of the things I'm going to be talking about today are really standard things for every business person, but you find that sometimes nobody talks to the African businesswoman about it. So, one of the things when we start our business is location. And back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I'm talking about pre COVID. Before COVID, when you wanted to start a business, the first thing you're looking for is location. Where am I going to locate this business? You want to get a store, you want to get an office space, you want to get a physical space. Now, post COVID, a lot of people are not really looking for a place to be in, a physical place to be in. For example, I work from home most of the time. I don't have a physical office elsewhere apart from my grocery store. But I do have another business, a health guard, where that requires an office space, and we've got lots of office spaces in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria, and in other parts of Nigeria. But I don't sit in Nigeria. So in South Africa, previously, I would look for an office space and sit my behind there and have a secretary and all of that stuff. But I don't keep an office. I work from home. This is now post-COVID, where we are realigning where we need to be with what we need to do. We always considered having a physical space as necessary for our business to succeed. But if there's one thing that COVID has taught us is that you can do your business from anywhere, and many people knew about this concept way before COVID. COVID just really reinforced it. You can do your business from anywhere in the world, especially with smartphones and computers and all of that technology. You can be anywhere and do your business from anywhere. You don't need to have a physical space for all of your business. In fact, right now, I have been thinking, do I really need a physical space for my grocery store? Because you have to look at the cost and benefits. You have to weigh them to see what works, what doesn't work, especially when you're looking at your overheads and you're trying to maximize profits or even make some sort of profit. So, when it comes to location, it becomes very important. It has always been very important for your business. And as African businesswomen, we really need to think twice before you decide whether you want to have a physical store or not. Sometimes you can grow million naira, million rand business in your home without ever having to have a physical space that you are paying rent for. So, my advice to business people and business women is this: does your business really need a physical space? If you think so, ask yourself again the next question. Can you do this business online completely for the next year or two without having a physical space and your business will still grow? Yes or no? If you decide you want to have a physical space, where is this physical space going to be? How much is it going to cost? And don't just look at the cost of the rent, because rent is one thing. You have to advertise for people to know you are even there. There's electricity, there's sewage, there is water usage, there are all those rates and taxes and all of the stuff that are included in what you need to pay. So, can you afford to pay all of that, or can you just do your business from your home and have an online business? Many people have online businesses these days and they don't have physical premises. That you're selling oranges does not mean that you need to go rent a store. There are people who walk around with their oranges without needing to rent a store. Obviously, something like oranges, you may not be able to sell it on, you may not be able to sell it online, unless of course you create like a fruit market online, and that is a possibility. You offer fresh fruit delivered to your doorstep, and all of that kind of stuff. So you need to really ask yourself whether you need a physical location, where this location should be, and the cost benefit of that location. The other thing you need to consider is your pricing. And I'll give you an example of something that's been happening in one of my businesses recently. It's been happening for a while, but more recently, we had customers who would come into our store and say to us, your prices are too expensive. And we wonder, wait, what do you mean our prices are too expensive? As far as we are concerned, our prices are market related, or they are even too low. So we decided to keep doing market research. Every time we checked other like vendors that When I say like, I mean they sell the same thing, but our place of business is actually a higher value place. So technically, we should be selling things at a higher price. But when we check the prices of other people that sell the same thing as us, they're selling the same price or even higher. So we couldn't understand what these particular customers were saying. So we kept doing our research. We didn't stop. And one day, a customer made that statement again, and we went to check not far from us, and we found out that this other person is selling like 20% higher at a 20% higher price point than we were selling. So I had to say to my colleagues or employees, we shouldn't really listen to those customers who are telling us that we're too expensive. They do not have good intentions for us at all. They want us to drop our prices even lower so that we will be much lower than the other people in the other side. And then they come and buy from us. We are losing. We have to look at it. Can we afford to lose that much money when we're not running a sale? It's one thing if we're running a sale, it's another thing if we're not running a sale and we just drop our prices to below what other people sell. Our prices should even be higher because of our location, number one, and because of the structure of our store. And the ambience of our store gives us a higher value store. So we should be selling higher, but we don't. Why? Because we are a niche market. So it's not like your regular grocery store that sells every single thing. We cater to a specific segment of the market. And post COVID, people spend less. With recessions and world economies down, people are spending less, especially on goods that they don't consider to be essential and consider them to be luxury. So right now we can sell higher, but it doesn't mean that we should sell lower. So even with price point, you have to be careful. Yes, they say listen to your customers, but you have to be very careful the kind of feedback you're getting from your customers and do your research as well so that you don't take their word for it and then you lose business, you lose money. So you have to be very careful. Okay. Another thing I want you to look at is your competitors. Competition is very good because competition drives you. When you see what your competitors are doing, you are motivated to do more. Now, one of the things that my competitors drive me to do is not to sell the same thing that they sell. I always try to set myself apart. Not just, it's not for me, it's not just about having more stock and more stock and more stock and stock availability, but it's having unique products that my competitors don't have, that thing that gives me an edge. So you need to ask yourself, what is it that you have in your business that gives you an edge over your competitors? Every business that I am in, I am always constantly thinking and looking at what my competitors are doing. Even in the compensation plan for healthcare, we have to always look at what the competition is doing to make sure that ours is always better. So competition is good. It drives you, it motivates you. Competition should never demoralize you or kill your business. Now, obviously, there are some competitors that will come in. They will come in with big money, big everything, and they will drive people out of the market. There's always that. There's always that possibility. But if you can be in the market and you all have the same kind of level and you can rise above your competitors, please go for it. It doesn't matter what business you're doing, you have competitors. What are they doing? Know what your competitors are doing. What can you do better and what can you do uniquely? Now, last but not least, and possibly this is not the last thing I'm going to talk about now, but the last point in this whole thing about business I want to talk about today is rejection. We take rejection so personal in our business, and when you're running a business, rejection is not personal. When a customer says, I don't want to buy from you, fine, you can ask why. It may be that they're saying the price, because of the price, they don't want to buy from you. It may be that they're saying because of, because of the environment, they don't want to buy from you. Maybe someone was rude to them or you were rude to them, then they don't want to buy from you. But most times, it's actually not personal. It's not about you. So when customers reject what you are selling to them, remember that they are rejecting the opportunity you're giving them, or they are rejecting the goods that you're selling to them, or they're just plain saying that I don't have the money, I cannot buy it right now. It's always good to know the reason for the rejection because then you can fix it. If a customer rejects what you're selling because of the way you spoke to them, it gives you an opportunity to apologize, try to fix it, give them something extra to make nice, and you might just keep that customer. If it's a customer that is not interested and they reject what you're offering them, they are just not interested. Again, it's not about you. Most times, rejection in a business is not about you. So you need to be very careful about that. Now, as an African businesswoman, the other time that rejection can be about you is just plain because you're a woman. I have seen women who men refuse to do business with because they are women. In fact, I was once told that if I'm going to that business meeting, I needed to make sure I take a man with me to that business meeting so that they don't reject me and what I was saying. And essentially, I said, screw you. In my mind, obviously, I didn't tell the person that to their face, but I went to that meeting without them and I secured the deal. Sometimes they try to tell us to avoid getting rejected, we should look down on ourselves and our abilities. Yes, there are places where you go in and it's all men, they don't want to listen to you and all of that. But let me tell you something, when you have money and power, they will listen to you. It doesn't matter if they're all men. And this is one of the reasons that we work hard. Because when we work hard and we work our business and we're successful and we make some money, the money that we make will give us access to certain levels and give us a voice on certain levels so that people don't just dismiss us and people don't just look down on us. So we need to always keep that in mind. Rejection is a tool that can be used for success. You can turn rejection around. It is very possible. But you have to also note and know when rejection is being used as a tool to destroy you. So know that there are people who reject you just so that your business can collapse. There are people, rejection, sometimes you need finance, and it might even be your spouse that doesn't want to give you that finance. And in a way, they are hoping that you fail so that they can tell you, I told you so, and you can go back to begging them for everything. Sometimes it's the bank that rejects you for that finance. Rejection can come in different ways in business, but you have to recognize that. And the other thing I want you to remember is that rejection is usually not permanent. When I say that, I don't mean that people will change their mind to now say yes, because a lot of times they never change their mind. But you must know that situation, there's no situation that is permanent. So if you use someone's rejection as a basis to close your entire business and stop your business, you will never succeed. But if you use that rejection as drive, as feedback for a way to pivot and work your business, you can turn things around and you can still make your way and keep going, even if you are hopping along. So never let rejection steal your shine. Never let rejection take you back to Egypt, so to say. Never let rejection keep you down. As a business person, as an African businesswoman, remember that there are lots stacked against us. And because there are lots stacked against us, we always have to go over and beyond. So just to recap what I've spoken about today. I've spoken about location for your business. When you're doing your business, location, online, offline, you can do both. You can do either one. In this day and age, in 2025, people tend to do both, or they lean more online. Again, it depends on the kind of business you do. You can use shared offices. You don't have to have your own office per se. Then pricing. Check the prices of your goods, market related to your competitors. Be careful not to overprice yourself, not to outprice yourself, and not to underprice yourself. Then competition is good. Competition can motivate you. It can drive your business. So don't hate competition. And then last but not least, rejection. Don't let rejection depress you. So this is where we're going to stop today. I know you're waiting for the stories, and I promise you the stories are going to come. I am just using this opportunity while we're building our audience to talk about certain business tips that you can use. There is another podcast on YouTube it's a vlog, and it's Leadership with Loveland. There you can find other things on leadership and motivational talks as well. You can use them in conjunction with what I've been talking about here on the African Businesswoman podcast. And then when we get to those videos, I am looking forward to those interviews. Like, some people are reaching out to me and saying, please interview me. I want to be interviewed. And they don't mind putting their face to their interview. So I am looking forward to those as well. So yes, keep watering. Yeah, mouth watering. Keep waiting for it. It will come. All right. Keep building that business. Don't let anyone tell you that because you're a woman, you cannot do anything. Because you're a woman, you can do absolutely everything. All right. Have a good one. Thank you so much for listening to the African Businesswoman podcast. This has been Loveline Bassi. I will see you on the next podcast. Make sure to share the podcast with people. Share it, like, comment, and don't forget to always tune in. Thank you. Bye.